See that out there right now? That's just an average suburban street in an average town in an average part of the UK. Normal life, bustling. Cars, families, homes, businesses, and you can see the weather's gorgeous. These are all the simple pleasures in life that we take for granted a lot of the time. The ability to live our life as free people without a care in the world, no suffering, no war, no conflict. And we have to realise that we have to take more care of this and take more notice of it than maybe sometimes we are, especially when you read the news lately, and especially over the last few days. How do everyone? Welcome back to the channel for a Tuesday. Hope you're doing all right. I'm not too bad, not too bad. Now, hope you've had a good day. Let me know how you've been, what you've been up to in the comments below. It's always good to hear from you. Well, you know, this whole thing to do with Ukraine and Russia, it's all getting very political and it's all getting very tetchy. And to be quite honest, I've never seen the narrative as, you know, gruesome and as aggressive as it is these days. And it actually does quite concern me, genuinely. There are many of you saying, oh, Putin's scared, you know. It's, you know, Putin's not going to do anything. But the fact of the matter is, at least for our part, the narrative seems to be wrapping up quite significantly. And you worry that there might be some kind of miscalculation which could send us all down a dark path, which could take away from us those gorgeous skies and those normal suburban streets. Old Macron, Admiral Macron, has gone to Russia and sat at the end of a 10-foot long table on the other side of Vladimir Putin and discussed matters. Yet another world leader trying to find a way out of this quagmire we could all end up in. And although Putin said he's been torturing me for the last 6 hours, I think he was quietly appreciative of his efforts. You see, over the last 30 years or so since the fall of the Soviet Union, NATO, and more importantly us lot in the West, have been gradually creeping east, and we've been absorbing former Soviet bloc nations into the European Union. And there's a whole stream of them down that side of Russia. Now, Putin, being the nationalist he is, won't like this one little bit, and the fall of the USSR sticks in his throat. You can see that quite openly. There's lots of dialogue online which explains that to you. And he's got to the point he's had enough. He's been warning and warning and warning for the last God knows how many years. This has to stop. Otherwise, problems could be caused. And you saw quite the strong statement he made there. He even admitted that if you put the Russian military up against the military capability of the combined forces of NATO, there's not a lot of contest really. But there are other areas where Russia are quite well advanced. And it was almost an open threat. If Ukraine joins NATO, which is a complete and utter red line as far as they're concerned, it will plunge Europe into a war. They won't have any choice, and therefore maybe us as well. I think that's, you know, the biggest threat he's openly made so far. And he said, you know, you've got to listen. You've got to listen. You've got to back down. Otherwise, I can't guarantee what will happen next. And what worries me, you know, is that whole N word, and I'm not talking about the politically incorrect one. Would he? Would we? It just takes one miscalculation and the unthinkable could happen. A hot war. It's quite scary. I mean, those of you that are old enough to remember the Cold War and everything, let me know what you think. But yet again, with what Putin has said today, it just seems to have wrapped it up a little bit more. And I hope somewhere, somehow, the negotiators find a way of cooling all this down. But it's doing the same thing the old convicts did, didn't it? It's keeping us in a state of fear and wondering what's going on. Anyway, that's my opinion on it. Let me know yours. Toodaloo.